What's going on, Sky Squad? We back in the building, baby. We got to talk love and marriage, Huntsville. And let me tell y'all something. Right now, I am sipping on this Don't Play With Me. Your husband's in the pool from No Filter with Zach. It's some rose, baby. And we about to get into some things over here with the Love and Marriage Huntsville review, baby. It was another good episode. And we got to talk about it. We got to break it all down, okay? So I want you, when you enter this room, baby, when you enter this chatterization, I need you to let me know where you watching from. Let you, because we on the late night creep. So I want to know where you at, okay? Where you watching from? You in the club with Arion and Martell? Where you at? Let us know where you at, people, okay? I want to know where my people are on this late night creep. Where you be hanging out at after 10 p.m. at night on a Saturday? What y'all doing? I'm glad you're here, though. I'm glad you're here because we got some things to talk about today. We got to talk about this episode, of course, of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Hey, Trinidad, NC, Dallas, Buffalo, Grand Prairie, Southern California, at home in Detroit. I see you, NYC. I know you ain't in the house, NYC, because New York is the city that never sleeps. Okay, so I know you out and about someplace doing something, probably being nasty or something like that. I ain't mad at you though. I'm not mad at you. Hey, Miss Bernie, how you doing? Hey, Michigan, Indiana in the building. I see you, Duval, NYC. Be more, baby. I see you. Come on, California, Chicago. Hey, Miami Gardens, Florida, baby. I'm so ready to get back down to the Miami, to have me a good old Ponderosa. Jade, welcome to the Sky Squad. Y'all know y'all can get these memberships going. Click the link in the description down below. If you cannot see it because maybe you're watching it on your phone, click out of the live chat, go into the description. The link is right there at the top under the title of this video, okay? If you're watching on your computer, it should definitely be right below the video. Now, with that being said, we got to get into this good old Ponderosa, okay? In tonight's episode, we're going to rate it on the scale of 1 to 10, okay? We're going to rate this episode on the scale of 1 to 10. T. Ness, hey, babe. Hey, babe. How you doing? How you doing? Good to see you in the building tonight, okay? Oh, Benita, you watching the show now, so you about to get it over here, and you about to get it over there. Okay. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all, okay? So, on a scale of 1 to 10, let's rate the episode, okay? I'm gonna give it an 8.5. And I'm gonna tell you why I'm gonna give it an 8.5. Okay. This to me was I'll put the link in the description of this video so you can go listen to that because it was so good. I love those guys. Let me tell you, love from the bottom of my heart. When people show me love, I never forget that type of stuff. And so they got friends in me for life. 8, 7, 6, 7, 8.5. Yeah, I mean, we all about the same place. You know what I'm saying? It's like around that 8 range. Because again, I felt like this was a transitional episode, okay? A transitional episode. And so I know a lot of people gonna either feel some type of way about Martell tonight, or you're gonna feel some type of way about Melody tonight, okay? And we're going to have to get into the reality of the situation, okay? We're going to get into it so you know. Okay, we're going to get into it. But before we get there, we got some other things to discuss, all right? Marsau is about it. Louis is about it today. Everybody about it until next week, okay? I want to see who really about it next week when they have that good old Ponderosa. Because they've been talking about it in this episode for Louis and Marsau to finally have a sit down together and, get into some things man to man. Okay. Now, first things first. Maurice and Marsau catch up at Black, and Maurice is hoping for an apology. Toya says, "Why am I not a member?" Toya, I don't know, baby. We got to get you figured out. We got to get you down up in that good link down below, okay? We're gonna work on that for you, okay? Thank you for the super chat. Now, Maurice and Marsau catch up at the Black. Maurice is hoping for an apology. Marsau feels like he was ambushed at the Ponderosa at Micah's house with our new bae. Sorry, Micah, you got to share her with us, okay? With our new bae, he felt like he was ambushed that night with the family. So he's like, I mean, I don't know what kind of apology you think I'm giving you because y'all ambushed me. Anyway, Marsau asked Maurice what a normal non-lying person would have done with regards to the post that he made on social media with him and Maurice on the boys' trip, wherein Maurice, at least allegedly from what we saw on the screen, said he was not around for any interactions with Martell and the other woman. Now, when Marsau produced this photograph, it was basically proof that Maurice was not necessarily the most honest about that. But apparently the clarification here is he didn't witness an interaction between Martell and the other woman. But the other woman was like, well, I don't understand how that's true because I felt like she said something like she took the picture. Now, let me put allegedly up here, but because I can't remember exactly what she said, but I thought she alluded to either taking the picture, being there, seeing them with some linebacker type women or something like that. And the use of the word linebacker is not my word. That is her word. I am just basically repeating what she said to a verbatim degree. Okay. So for Maurice to in this scene say that he was technically telling the truth, that he was not around for any interactions, comes into direct contrast to what she had been posting online. So to me, it feels like Maurice is still not necessarily giving us the whole story. Man, listen, why not just simply say, I was there? You know what it was? I was there. My brother didn't outed me, okay? He didn't posted the photo. I was there. I admit it. I plead. I guilty is charged. I was there, and that's that. Do I condone it? No. Does that mean that I was doing it? No. But I saw it happen with my own eyes, okay? And that's that. Now, according to y'all, she was saying that she did take the picture, okay? So how you gonna say you wasn't around for any interactions, and then Marsau, you gonna agree with it? It's like, now come on now. Y'all are not gonna gaslight me today, okay? Not on this Good Saturday. Not on this Good Saturday after April Fool's Day, because we are not fools, okay? Y'all should have tried that yesterday. Carlos, you should have played this episode yesterday so they could have said April Fools, because we not fooling around today on April 2nd, okay? Not today. Not on our watch, okay? Because we not stupid. We putting together the clues. We listening to what you say, and it don't make no kind of sense to us, okay? Anyway, now that I got that out of my system, all right, because I'm Rihanna says finding out Marsau was the youngest tonight made everything make sense to me. Is he the youngest? Because it seemed I thought that Maurice was the youngest. I couldn't really tell by what Maurice was saying who was the youngest. Can y'all tell me, is Marsau indeed the youngest? I mean, because if so, if the argument is that you are the younger brother and this is the reason why you are up to shenanigans, if that is the excuse, it is a very poor excuse. Okay? Y'all in the chat saying Marsau is younger. I really don't know. Oh, okay. So y'all saying Maurice said Marsau is the youngest. So even if that's the case, Marsau, if you are the baby of the bunch, it ain't like you 12. Okay. He's not 18. He's not 23. He is not 25. He is not even 29. So I still can't excuse you and these shenanigans of posting this photo that you know is going to have a negative impact on your older brother in some way, shape, or form. This ain't like we 10 years old playing hopscotch and hide and go seek. These ain't those type of games. These are real life relationships and whatnot. And again, for me, I know, listen, I am fine with Marsau wanting to be, do the trolling on Instagram and stuff like that and having a good time and yakking it up and things like that. But do it at your own expense, not the expense of other people. Okay. That's my thought. Okay. Queen B says Marsau is younger. He just looks older. See, now I did not say that. that was Queen B, and I thank you for the super chat. I did think that Marsau was older for some reason, and I don't know why. Maybe it's because he's been married longest. That's what I thought. Okay. Anyway, Martell arrives, and Maurice asks, what his thoughts were about the whole photograph and everything. And Marsau is like, you know what? I'm tired of being the punching bag. But I'm like, Marsau, you are making yourself the punching bag. By the very nature of the things that you do, you make yourself the punching bag for everyone, okay? For everyone on social media. So whenever you complain about people asking questions about your whereabouts, whether or not you seem truthful or not, it is because of the things that you do. And you basically last week or the other week told us that you're not a transparent person. So now we know that we can't even get the full truth out of you. You slippery, okay? You a slippery individual. That's basically the best way I can put it, at least in terms of how it relates to this show. I don't know what you like as a real person in real life, but at least if as far as what comes on this show, you are a slippery slope, okay? Just as slippery as can be. Mariana says, remember you said Destiny unblocked you. Would you ever interview her? That would be interesting. I felt like she wants to spill a lot now. I have a method about interviews. And if it's something that she ever wanted to do, I mean, I would definitely be down for it. I mean, I love having a good old ponderosa with somebody who is fun and willing to have a good old conversation. Y'all know how I like to do. So I'm open to I'm open to most conversations. As long as I feel like I got questions for them, and I do have questions for her. So I would do that. Anyway, Martell apologizes for laughing and playing into the whole, scenario, basically causing a whole other wave of firestorm for Maurice and Marsau. Martell then tells Marsau that he threw Maurice under the bus, basically. But Marsau refuses to take any blame, and he is not about to be nobody's punching bag. He's not going to be Maurice's punching bag. He's not going to be Kimmy's punching bag. He's not going to be Martell's punching bag. And he definitely is not going to be Louis's punching bag, okay? Martell then wants to talk about all of them attacking Louis at the reunion. And Marsau is tired, okay? He is tired of this man coming at him about his marriage when he don't even know him. But again, I wrote in my notes, you make yourself the punching bag. If you continue to act in such a way that causes, strife and struggle for your wife, even though she may not be vocalizing it because she really just don't seem like she want to have any major issues with you, you still are creating your own, you are the architect of your own mess. I don't understand why Marsau doesn't realize that he is the cause of most of his angst, okay? Thinking that you being funny. Again, we are not 12. We are not 15. We are not 19. This is not 23. You are not in college. This is something, we are adults, okay? And you run full-fledged businesses. So you would think that you wouldn't even have the time of day to be sitting around finding a photo from 2015. Let me tell y'all something. Do you know how hard it would be for me to find a specific photo from 2015? That took some effort, baby. I would have had to go through my phone, through the Facebook. I would have had to go all the way back through the record, scroll all the way back. I got 20. Y'all know something? Let me tell y'all something. On my phone right now, okay, I have a 1,335 text messages that I have not responded to. I have about 400,000 emails in my messaging inbox. I don't even know how many photos I got, but in order for me to have gone back, I have 51,734 photos and 8,403 videos. I would not be able to find something from 2015 and it is 2022. So that took some effort for you to go back and actually make that post. I'm gonna leave it alone because I feel like I made my point. Anyway, I'm telling y'all my business, but I'm trying to make a point, okay? I'm that person that has all those things going on. And it don't bother me none either because I get to what's important, okay? And if I don't, charge it to my mind and not my heart. Anyway, he's gonna hold Louis accountable for his words. And Martell thinks that the conversations that Marsau is trying to have with Louis so aggressively should be had off to the side. And he actually feels like that Marsau was bullying Louis. Now, let me tell you something. I hate when these reality TV stars and people on these shows use this word bullying. Do y'all know what bullying is? Okay. Bullying is, I mean, I could look up the exact definition, but let me tell y'all something. That is a level of intimidation that really goes so far as to border on making a person feel threatened, uh, fearful, and I just kind of feel like if you've ever been bullied in school, I definitely can tell you that I was. If you've ever felt like you have been, it is what happened at the reunion was not bullying. Okay. While I don't agree with Marsau on most things, what I do agree on is that Louis has a whole lot of opinions about Marsau and his marriage. I mean, rightfully so. But anyway, he got a lot of opinions about it. And at any point in time, even myself, okay, if I were to run into Marsau and he wanted to have some words or whatever like that, I can't blame him for that because I have an opinion about his situation. So he has the right to make a rebuttal. And so him telling Louis, brother man, listen, you don't get to speak to me about my relationship because number one, I barely know you. Survey says that's a lie. Okay. Survey says that was not true. Okay. Because according to Tiffany later on, we know that Marsau had either done some work with Tiffany but he knows Tiffany some kind of way. So it ain't like Louis is speaking from inexperience. He's speaking from experience because he know a little bit more than what we knew. Okay. Now, anyway, Marsau decides that he's going to have a conversation with Louis. Fine. I hope. Okay, fine. Speaking of Louis and Tiffany recapped the pajama party where, everybody had came down on Tiffany after she had a conversation with Kimmy. She says that her and Kimmy were almost good, and then Stormy kind of came in and blew up the spot or whatever. She feels attacked. Louis then relays how Martell asked why Marsau was coming at him so hard. And, Louis said he was surprised that Marsau was coming at him so hard at the reunion. So he's on the fence about the two of them having a ponderosa to figure out the problem. Tiffany wants a double date with Marsau and LaTisha. But apparently at that point, that's when it comes out that Tiffany has known Marsau for quite some time. So Louis is riled up like, so I don't understand why this man is trying to make it seem like we don't know each other, okay? Because we do. We know each other. I know you, brother. So don't be trying to make it seem like I don't have no knowledge of you, your relationship, or anything else. Not to mention the fact that y'all been on a show for at least 2 seasons before these people even got there, and we knew all about the shenanigans that was going on anyway. So Louis knew something, all right? Tiffany is trying to warn Louis that, Marsau has a big personality. And then, Louis is starting to get, rah, 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 and she's like, well, why you getting loud with me? I mean, I'm just trying to tell you. And he's like, listen, I could deal with a big personality. I just didn't like Marsau's tone. But he lets it know. He's like, yo, if y'all want to toss some drinks or if you want to toss some shots, we can do that too. Now, I did not know if he meant toss some drinks as in physically toss some drinks, or if he meant toss them back, take a little sip of the drink. You know what I'm saying? Or take a little sip of the shot. I was like, what are we talking about here? Because it sounded like, I'm like, is it drink talk or is this street talk? But then the next thing you know, she's like, well, y'all too old for that. And he says, I'll still rock a mofo. Don't play with me. And I was like, well, let's see what you gonna do next week, Mr. Louis. Because every time somebody approach you and they confront you about something, you really do be mumbling and don't have a lot to say. Okay. I'm just gonna call it like it is. I feel like he, writes a big old check. But I mean, the proof is in the pudding. Can you cash that check? Okay. When if you saw Will Smith coming up at you, what you gonna do? Louis, you gonna dodge and weave? You gonna back up? You gonna start the stuttering? What you gonna do? Okay, because you don't know what Marsau gonna do. I'm sure it's gonna be a peaceful conversation, but I'm just saying I want to see Louis with that same energy when they sit down together and they have their ponderosa. I don't want to see him silent and nodding his head like we've been seeing him do it. I want to see him get as rowdy as he did with his wife, with this man over here about that conversation. Because based on the preview that we saw, it didn't look like it was going to go that way. Okay. Now, anyway, we see Melody working with her daughter on her acting. She talks to her daughter about why she works so hard, so she ain't got to depend on no man or whatever like that, and wants to set a good example for the child. Martell goes to visit his mama after a wine tasting, and we had talked about this before, that it's a sweet red wine that he is named after his grandmother, and it is called Inest, okay? And do y'all know something to me? And I hope this don't sound, bad, okay, what I'm about to say. But I feel like Miss Marlene needs like a little late night radio show or something like that. Y'all ever listen to Miss Marlene talk? Ain't it just as soothing as can be? I feel like she could talk me to sleep. And I don't mean that like I was bored. I just mean that she got this pleasant voice that just make you want to just pull up a chair by the fireside and get out some marshmallows or something like that and ask her some questions about life. I mean, because the way she talks to him, I just feel like in my mind, I feel like everything is going to be all right. And she's not even talking to me. Okay. She just got a way of speaking to him and speaking life into him that I feel like, is a way that any good mother should, even if he did do some cheating in the past or whatever like that. She talks to him. I appreciate it. I like it. I love the sound of her voice, and I could just listen to it all night. I don't know what it is about her voice. It's just as soothing to me as a lullaby. Jay says, I feel like Louis and Tiffany talk about everybody else's issues so they don't have to address their own, constant deflecting at others. You know what's funny about that? Let me highlight this comment again. What makes a reality star interesting is when they are open about their own struggles, when they are open about their problems, which is why Love and Marriage Huntsville has been so successful and why it has grown into the franchise that it has grown. And that is partly because even though I'm talking about the cast and I'm critiquing the things that they're doing in their lives, the fact of the matter is they are bold enough to put their issues out there on Front Street for all of us to critique. And the interesting thing about that is that the more that a couple does that, the more interesting they become. And that is the reason why I feel as though people have not necessarily resonated so far with Louis and Tiffany, is because we haven't gotten the same level of transparency that we have gotten from the other couples. And when I say that, I do mean there is a certain level of openness that you have to have in order to be a successful reality TV star. We, the audience, know when we're not getting the full story, when we're not getting everything, and we know that they aren't giving us all that they can give. So to me, that's the issue with Tiffany and Louis at this point, whether that's a production thing or whether that's a thing that, we're just not getting enough. I don't know what it is, but I feel like they're going to need to open themselves up more, and we're going to need to see more of their imperfections in order for us to really fall in love with them. And that's just my thoughts on that. So Martell is having a book signing for the children's book that they are the authors of. It's Melody's week with the kids, but he's hopeful that she's going to bring them kids to the book signing, even though it's her week. Okay? I'm going to leave it at that for right now. Marsau is with his family. They are making s'mores or something. I don't know what they're doing. To be honest with you, when y'all know when I be watching these shows, I sometimes can't even look up at the show. Okay? Because I be literally, I'm typing like the only secretary, just sitting there typing up notes, just literally just I'm transcribing these words like I'm a court stenographer. Okay. But they was doing something as a family, and they get to talking about, he get to talking about, well, I realized when I was away from all of y'all in Africa, I finally had some time to myself to think, I've been working too hard, and I think I need to spend more time with my family. Isn't it funny that he had to go away from his family and get away from them in order to realize that he needed to appreciate them and work less? Whatever you got to do, sir, to make it work. I mean, it's whatever you got to do. So, LaTisha is talking about her plans. What are they going to do at the top of the year when they all go back to Africa? So you mean to tell me you're going to go to Africa in December, then you're going to go to Africa in January while you're filming the show, okay? So now you can be their tour guide, and you ain't got to call no services or nothing like that for you to, take them around and whatnot. LaTisha, you is a good woman, okay? You is a good woman, because I would have a serious problem with this. And I know we had talked about it before. And I'm trying not to go off too hard because I might pop these stitches in my mouth. But as I listen to her so hopefully speaking about where they're gonna go in Africa and stuff like that, I just can't help but think you wouldn't have to wish for this if he took you in the first place. And he would not have let her go. Let's just flip the script for a second. The interesting thing is, my question to Marsau is, would you have let LaTisha go on a trip to Africa by herself? Chime down in the chatterization and tell me whether or not you think that Marsau would have let LaTisha go on a trip to Africa by herself. And based on the questions that she was asking, it don't even sound like she knew everywhere he went. What do you think? Okay? Because I don't think that he would have let her go. I really don't. I don't. I think, and honestly, I think that if he did let her go, he would make her so miserable about this whole thing. But at the end of the day, the funny thing about it is, I don't think that LaTisha would even want to go to Africa without him. That's why I say she's a good one in my book, because I don't think she would even want to or have that desire to go. For me, I'm thinking to myself, like, I don't care what's going on. If I can have the opportunity to take my significant other, my spouse, the person I'm in love with, I'm trying, just anybody that you're with right now, right? If you got a way that you could take them to someplace that would open their eyes to more culture and to see some life and to see some world, especially to Africa, I feel like it is our moral obligation to take them there, specifically to Africa. But again, I'm gonna let it go right now because I could talk about this for a minute and it just bothers me and it bothers my spirits. Okay. Anyway, they get on to the conversation with Martell and Maurice allegedly ganging up on him. Then somehow they get onto what the bloggers say about, Marsau having a secret apartment. Because, LaTisha may act like to Marsau that she's okay with all these things, but all of these questions that she has tells me that she still has some wondering or some concerns that about, well, why do these things keep popping up about my man? And it you would have to, it is a mind, it's a mind cluck, okay? It is a severe mind cluck. And that is, again, is why I really feel for LaTisha, because I'm like, I don't understand how you, I just, ooh, 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 ooh. It just burns my spirits up. Speaking of which, Rihanna says Tisha be acting like she's so unbothered, be asking all the questions because it's eating her up inside. Just be honest, baby. It's okay. And that's what I'm saying too. It's like, girl, you got these questions. Stop acting like you're so unbothered. And I know you want to put up a united front, but I just also feel like at a certain point in time, because you keep asking these questions, that tells us, the audience, as though, you still have some things that you need to have settled, and because they're not settled in your spirit. Rare Trinity says, I'd be glad when Tisha turned into a Bernadette. I'm waiting to excel for her, because I mean, I don't understand why she don't. These questions mean something to her. And whether or not any of this is true, they mean something to her. And what I'm saying to her is that he's not answering these questions well enough to make her feel secure, in my opinion. And that's just me. And to be honest with you, I don't really want him to have a secret apartment. I don't want any of these things to be going on, because I want them to have a successful marriage. So it is just frustrating to me that he's never as just straightforward as I feel like he needs to be. Anyway, she asked him if he has asked Martell about the secret apartment, and he makes it seem like he barely talks to Martell, but I could have swore we just saw him in a scene with Martell. Anyway, she asked him in her confessional, well, then when y'all get together, what are y'all actually talking about? And he says, well, they were ganging up on me about Louis. Basically, you know how he tried to do his little tricky wordplay, originally talking about basically trying to confuse her. But LaTisha, you are not confused. I see it in your eyes. You are not confused. You are just keeping the peace. Okay? Toya says Tisha is trying to navigate his misogynistic character. It's overwhelming for her. Well, Toya, I think you just hit the nail on the head. I ain't got nothing else to say. I could log off now, honestly, because that was the word right there. Anyway, he brings up them talking about the photo and Martell and Martell not wanting Marsau to put his marriage in jeopardy. And he says he's only reacting that way because Martell is sensitive because he's going through a divorce. And he's convinced that he and LaTisha are good. But the look, and LaTisha says, yeah, we're good. But the look on her face says, no, I'm not all the way good with this. But she nodding her head yes. But in her eyes, I see no. Okay? That's just me. That's just me. Okay? Y'all, I am trying to feel whether or not I have popped a stitch in my mouth or not. I pray to God I have not. But we're going to keep going. Kimmy and Maurice packed to go on their honeymoon because it's been 3 years. Maurice, the fact that it has been 3 years and you have not taken this woman on a honeymoon, I am so mad at you. I'm so mad at you right now. How you get married to this woman but not take her on a honeymoon, not take her nowhere? Is this the first vacation that y'all have been on together? It's been 3 long years and y'all ain't been on a vacation. Something is wrong here. Something is wrong here. Okay, Kimmy, I need you to start demanding some vacations, okay? I need you to step it up. All right? Step it up. Demand some vacay time, okay? That don't make no kind of sense. Ain't that much working in the world. So anyway, they going on vacation finally. All right. Um, she tells him that Kiki was at the sleepover, but LaTisha and Destiny weren't there. And she relays that everybody has some heat for LaTisha, and that Kiki was coming with information that's not so positive about LaTisha. And Kimmy feels bad for LaTisha. But what I want to know is, because we still have not addressed this, and I have not seen Kimmy address it, and I have not seen LaTisha address it, although I have seen them be very chummy on social media in terms of commenting on each other's posts and stuff like that. And I really am happy that they are in a good place. But for me, when we last left the reunion and Carlos had asked that question, and he had asked Kimmy, if you guys were not sisters-in-laws, do you think that y'all would be friends? And Kimmy said no. And the look on LaTisha's face was just devastation. I have not seen, not hide nor hair, of the conversation that needed to happen betwixt the two of them in order for them to get back on the same page. Because Kimmy is ultra concerned about all of these ladies talking about LaTisha, and which I am fine with because that's your sister-in-law. But storyline wise, we need to have seen the resolution to whatever that conversation was from the reunion. We didn't talk about everything else from the reunion, but we have still not gotten to the heart of LaTisha and Kimmy's issues that were a part of the reunion. And that is a part of the story that we are missing a chunk of. So, whomever is listening, I need a scene that tells us that they either got back together and they are very cool now, or something else. Okay. Did they make up off camera? Just tell me, because I still want to know. That was a huge moment in the reunion, and I feel like it has been completely glossed over at this point in time. So, if somebody can riddle me that, down to the own, I would be very happy. Okay. Maurice thinks that Kimmy should talk to LaTisha and Destiny to get to the bottom of it. She says she's gonna do it after her vacation. It's the day of the book signing event, and here's where I feel like the people are going to be very split on this conversation. The book is called Plane Ride to Canada. The people want to know, I mean, the manager wants to know, is Mel going to bring the kids to the book signing? He said he'd been calling her, and the manager relates to him that co-parenting is a very difficult thing, and that he also has not done a very good job of making Melody feel safe in their co-parenting arrangement. So she has warned him that this could be a very difficult situation. Now, people are, as the people start to arrive, they're asking about, where are the babies at, since they're the authors of the book. The manager says, can you call Mel again? But it goes straight to voicemail. Meanwhile, over to Melody's house, okay, Melody on the phone with Miss Van, and she about to get on the road with the kids, because we learned that she has lost two relatives back to back. So they go on the road to be with her family because it is her week with the kids. She says she received an email from from Martell, telling her that there's a book signing on the week where he does not have the kids legally. So she didn't have to. So she says that since he didn't give her a proper heads up, she has hopes that maybe he can plan another one when he has the kids. Okay. Now, my thought initially is this. As I watched the scene play out, I was sad that the kids weren't there, because the music in the background was sad. The people was asking about the kids. I could see the signs on the chairs with the kids' names and everything. And I just thought to myself, oh Lord, the kids not coming. But then I said to myself, why would you set up an event on a week Well, you ain't got the kids. That don't make no sense to me. Now he say that the judge has said that they can do a split, they can alter their arrangements for special events, and he felt like this was a special event. Then maybe I don't know how special arrangements work with regards to court orders and legalese and all that kind of things like that when you got a divorce going on. But it sounds to me like you might have to get. I mean, do you have to get a court arrangement for those for a special circumstance? I really don't know, to be honest with you. But what I do know is, and I don't really understand why he did not film this event on a week where he had the kids. So I just didn't get that. Toya says becoming an author is a huge accomplishment for the kids. Court order aside, I wish they could have worked this out for the kids. True. I wish they could have worked it out as well. I mean, I think that would have been the ultimate thing, and it would have been nice to see. But based on my questions that I asked Melody, if she was going to be filming with Martell, excuse me, I didn't even say his name. I literally said, will you be filming with your ex this season? She said no. Okay. Now, I got to tell y'all, last season, at the end of last season, I said I was so sick and tired of watching Melody and Martell fight. I said it is getting exhausting. And in order for us to get something fresh and new, they're going to have to figure out something different in order to do so that we don't have to continue to watch them continue to go at it week after week after week after week, because it was getting exhausting. And so this season, she has, since, at least from what she told me, she ain't got no plans to film with this man. So that would likely explain why she did not bring the kids to that event. Now, would it have been nice? Yes. But technically, I had to wonder, why not just schedule it for the next week? It seems to me like that would have been the easiest route to go, in my opinion. And based on what we saw, if Melody had 2 deaths in her family, she's going to want to be with her family. And that's just how I see it. You schedule an event for the kids when you know that you have them. And that way, you don't ever have to worry about whether or not the co-parent is going to let them come to the event or not, because you have them on that week. So to me, it would have just made more sense. Bottom line. Like, and I see some people asking about, well, there were vendors there. Could he have control of the date? When you are planning an event, I don't plan an event around my vendors. I plan the event around me. Okay. And when it is convenient for me. Okay. And when it's most convenient for my team. And when it makes the most sense. And it would make the most sense when he had the kids. That's just my opinion. Londa says he knew what he was doing by planning it. If he says he gave her weeks' notice, he did say he was tired of looking like the bad guy. But I mean, there was no and you're right, but there's no need to look like the bad guy, because you already look like you're winning, because you are moving on with your life, you're building your business. You have your wine, you have your fitness stuff, your calendars and your planners and things or whatever like that. So to me, I just feel like planning on a week where you know that you got the kids. Otherwise, it just comes across like, I don't know. It was just giving very weird to me, because in my mind, that's the adult thing to do. But I don't know. Louis and Tiffany arrive and they ask if the kids are coming. Apparently, they're not coming. The manager gets 2 other kids to go and help Martell with the read through with the book. And to me, I wrote in my notes, this just feels like bad planning. He feels like the kids have been cheated out of an event. And I wrote at the end of this, my friends, is the reality of divorce. It is. It's unfortunate, but I think he's in a situation now where the rude awakening is that she's not going to bend to his whims. So I think the next week's episode is going to be a bit more about it. We're going to get a confrontation between Louis and Marsau. We're going to get a confrontation between Kiki and LaTisha. So I'm super excited about that. All right. That is our show for tonight, you guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate you. It's Saturday night on the late night creep. Y'all can get back to if you was creeping, you can get back to doing what you was doing. Me, myself, I'm going to go watch a movie and relax my mouth. Okay. And y'all know I love y'all, and I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video.